What are your views on using our foreign exchange reserves towards infra funding, or perhaps starting our own sovereign wealth fund?
I think that, both are, first, the RBI sort of putting some of that money to funding infrastructure would be a complicated process which may not work out that well. Montek had this idea, if you remember,
Sure.
a number of years ago. The problem is that, let's say you're an infra company and you're buying, domestic land. That's what you need the money for. I sort of, as RBI, it's very hard for me to lend to you because let me sell some of those foreign exchange assets. Now, you're not going to buy that foreign exchange. You want rupee loans. And so what happens is I have to reabsorb those foreign exchange assets, and at the end of it, I haven't got rid of any foreign exchange unless I'm willing to see the sort of rupee appreciate versus the dollar. Essentially, part of the reason we have such large foreign exchange assets is we are absorbing dollar sales. And as a result, we are trying to keep the rupee from appreciating too much. If we sell those assets in order to finance, then somebody has to absorb them. And part of the problem is nobody's willing to absorb them right now because we are running a current account surplus this year. And as a result, so it creates difficulties. I think your second point that, a sovereign wealth fund, but it wouldn't finance local infrastructure. What a sovereign wealth fund would do is allow us, exactly, from holding low return sort of US Treasury bonds to maybe holding equity. Now, again, RBI is not at this point well positioned to buy equity, but we could certainly set up a separate capacity there as our foreign exchange reserves go up to invest in equity. We contemplated investing in equity ourselves when I was governor.
Okay.
We decided that, it was early days, but we should prepare the capacity so that we can invest in a broader set of assets for the nation's good.
Yeah. So my point here is that our reserves, foreign exchange reserves, have been increasing quite rapidly. And presently we have about $568 billion of reserves, which are the fifth largest reserves in the world. As a country's reserves are concerned, I agree, safety is paramount. Yet the earnings on foreign exchange assets, last year's balance sheet of RBI is only 2.65%. This year it will be even lower. We have to find ways to earn higher than 1-2%, which. So I would agree. I would think that I truly believe actually that India's time has come when we set up a sovereign wealth fund. Say with 10% of our reserves, only 10% of our, and as you say, set up a good team under RBI. They can buy equities, they can buy corporate debt overseas. It has to be overseas investment. It can't be in domestic. It cannot be used for infra, as you said. But I think the time has come where we should look at a sovereign wealth fund is to have savings for the future generations.
I would not disagree. And I think that, the advantage, one of the concerns that I have is that with all the flows that's coming in, the rupee is probably stronger than one would want from an export perspective. If you look at Brazil, it has depreciated 30%. We don't want that kind of depreciation.
Sure.
But we don't want a rupee which is too strong in real terms. So some sort of depreciation over time would be good to maintain our external competitiveness. And one way to do it is to let more money go out. Now, we try to do this through the LRS systems. People could take their money out, but there could be other ways to let the pressure go. And one way would be a sovereign wealth fund which buys outside when a lot of money is coming in.